For years, Donald Trump rode the wave of suspicion, secrecy, and conspiracy, but now that wave is crashing back at his feet. His base, the one that stuck by him through 2 impeachments and a pandemic and multiple indictments, is suddenly not so loyal. Why? Because the one thing many of them were waiting for, the Epstein client list, still hasn't been released. And now some are asking if he's hiding something or someone. Trump helped turn the Epstein case into political capital. He embraced the conspiracy theories, promised transparency, and pushed the idea that powerful people, maybe his enemies, were hiding dark secrets. But late last week, after the FBI and DOJ announced that there's no client list, his response was to call it a distraction, even telling his followers to move on from Epstein and focus on, quote, the Democrats. But that didn't land. MAGA influencers like Laura Loomer, Michael Flynn, and even Steve Bannon are pushing back. Some are demanding a special counsel. Others want Pam Bondi, the attorney general, to resign. And they're not mincing their words. Michael Flynn said the Epstein affair is not going to go away. And then, out of nowhere, another twist. Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's longtime associate and the only person ever convicted in his trafficking operation, now says that she wants to testify before Congress. Her team says that she was never offered a deal and no one's asked her to tell her story. She's serving 20 years in prison and has filed a Supreme Court appeal. But now she's saying, put me on the record. And if that happens, this could get really interesting because she's saying what's in the government's Epstein files isn't the whole truth and that she's ready to fill in the blanks. Trump's response to all of this was to shift the narrative. This weekend, he said the entire Epstein file, yes, all of it, was, quote, made up by Barack Obama, James Comey, and the Biden administration. Writing on True Social, and I'm sorry that this is long, but I have to read all of it because it is ridiculous. What's going on with my boys and someplace gals? They're all going after Attorney General Pam Bondi, who is doing a fantastic job. We're on one team, MAGA, and I don't like what's happening. We have a perfect administration. The talk of the world and quote unquote selfish people are trying to hurt it all over a guy who never dies, Jeffrey Epstein. That sounds very sinister, by the way. A guy who never dies. Like, did you try to kill him or something? It might explain, why that Adobe video was edited in Adobe Premiere. For years, it's Epstein over and over again. Why are we giving publicity to files written by Obama, Crooked Hillary, Comey, Brennan, and the losers and criminals of the Biden administration who conned the world with the Russia, he wrote all this out, Russia hoax, 51 intelligence agents, and, quote, the laptop from hell and more. They created the Epstein files just like they created the fake Hillary Clinton / Christopher Steele dossier that they used on me, and now my so-called friends are playing right into their hands. Don't they see these radical left lunatics release the Epstein files when they had the chance? If there was anything in there that could have helped hurt the MAGA movement, why didn't they use it? They haven't even given up on the JFK files or the MLK files. So he just went on and talked about how they were hottest country on the earth and how Pam Bondi is that girl and blah, 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 blah. But honestly, that didn't stop the bleeding. The MAGA faithful decided for the first time, really, to start demanding answers on Truth Social, saying respectfully, release the files, transparency or complicity. And a lot of that sentiment is going through the MAGA movement. And Trump suddenly looks like a man that is dodging the one question, a question that he used to ask everybody else, talking about the Epstein files.
How many more states? The Attorney General briefed you on the DOJ and FBI review, the findings of that review. The Attorney General briefed you on that.
What? On the
DOJ and FBI
On what?
review.
On what subject?
Epstein. Okay. On Epstein, of the review of the files. Attorney General Pam Bondi.
A very quick briefing.
Did she tell you, what did she tell you about the review? And specifically, did she tell you at all that your name appeared in the file?
No. She's given us just a very quick briefing. And in terms of the credibility of the different things that they've seen, and I would say that, these files were made up by Comey. They were made up by Obama. They were made up by the Biden. We went through years of that with the Russia hoax, with all of the different things that we had to go through. We've gone through years of it, but she's handled it very well, and it's going to be up to her. Whatever she thinks is credible, she should release. Yeah.
On Texas.
No one cares. And just like that, Democrats decided to go into Congress and push to unseal all Epstein files, calling a vote on ordering that the previous question, which was to unanimously unblock, I should say, the release of the Epstein files. But Republicans ended up winning that, blocking the effort altogether. Some had called for the release publicly and then voted no when it mattered. Critics say that they're protecting Trump, and others say that they're just protecting themselves. Either way, it's gridlock, and fewer Americans are getting answers. You know, the people who actually wanted answers, the MAGA movement, definitely aren't getting any answers at all. So here's the question we're asking tonight. Is the jig finally up for Trump? I mean, after bombing Iran, backing Israel, squeezing Americans with tariffs, and threatening Medicare, is hiding the Epstein client list the breaking point for the base that has built him? What do you guys think? Are we at the breaking point?
I mean, to be honest with you, I think this makes the base stronger. I know there's
stronger. What do you mean stronger?
There's a lot of conversation about like MAGA Republicans are so upset that the Epstein file list is not being released. But yet then when you see when it comes down to them and their actual party, they're still united on this. Like they're like, obviously these people know they're not on the list, but they're like, for whatever reason, they decided, now we're not going to release these files, and we're all okay with that. They put that united front up, and like the rest of us are just still looking at it like, oh, well, why not? They don't care. And we keep saying this over and over and over, and like this is yet another one of those silver bullets they're trying to put out to be like, look, we're going to take the MAGA Republicans down. No, you're not. You're not.
Are you laughing, Ty?
So I kind of had two thoughts, like Dex's thought, and also if this were to be the breaking point, I think you got to be stupid, right? If this is your breaking point, like out of all the things that Donald Trump has done, the stuff at the very beginning, like when Donald Trump first came on the scene, he said I could stand in the middle of Times Square and shoot, and we laughed at how ridiculous that was. But Donald Trump is bulletproof, right? I mean, Donald Trump can do anything. He sat up there and gave the most ridiculous answer to anything you've ever asked him for the 8 years we've been dealing with him on the political scene. And you're telling me this is the breaking point? This is not the breaking point. It's like Dex said, they sat their behinds in there and said, oh, you better release those files. And it was like, okay, well, let's release them. Let's force the release because that's our job. Like our job is to say that office is not holding its duty. It's not fulfilling its promises. So our office's job is to force the release. And when it came time to do that, they all did what they did, and we saw what they did. So no, this is not the breaking point. Donald Trump is going to continue to dodge things until you forget about it, like he told you to do. He said, Daddy Trump said, forget it, and you're going to forget it.
Is that really what it comes down to, Eric? It's like kind of what Trump says goes in the Republican Party, like no matter what. Like it's just what he says. No matter what the situation is, if he calls you up and says to fall in line, you're going to fall in line.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, out of all the problems that we're facing in this country, people are not going to harp on the Epstein file. I mean, people need to recognize, man, he's unaliving people. You know what I mean? If you push too hard, you might wind up unalive.
Allegedly.
With Trump. Allegedly.
Or your career. So long term.
Yeah.
And that's what they're worried about.
Right.
And
Yeah,
it's like
that's the thing.
they have something. They think the Democrats always think they have something on them, right? If this were Joe Biden or another Democrat in office, and that was the president, the Democrats in Congress and everybody else are going to hang him out to dry. It's like, oh no, you're gonna be hung out to dry. But Donald Trump calls him and says, like, if I'm going down, so are you. And so you better stand strong as a party. The Democrats think they have something on us, and they're going to sweep you in in the primaries if you try to take me down or you try to turn against the party. So you have to hold party strong no matter what. I said there's nothing in the goddamn files, there's nothing in the files. Move on.
And we know this is true. We know this is true when it comes to Joe Biden, because remember when they made him drop out of the race. They would never have him with Donald Trump. He could be old and seen out, and they would be like, well, he's all right. He's passed cognitive tests, so he's good.
Yeah, as much as the Republican Party disagrees with Trump, they always toe the company line. They never go against him.
Yep.
Is he hiding something, or do you think he's hiding someone?
I mean,
Both.
absolutely, he's hiding something. But at this point, the Republican Party is going to toe the company line. They're not going to go against. They're not going to go against them. This, like Ty said, it's political suicide if they go against them.
And also, even if he is on that list, what you gonna do about it? Right. They could put that list out right now, and he could be the only name on that list. What are you going to do about it?
Right. He's already been impeached. He's already been impeached, indicted, convicted, and he's still the president.
What are we gonna do?
How many pictures did they put out of Donald Trump over the course of like different fits? Like he got different fits on. This is multiple days. Like how many photographs have they put out? Him hugged up, all this other stuff. Like of course he's on the list. They just don't care.
Right.
It's the same fit. It looks like it's the same fit. Different. The girls have different fits on, but yeah,
he always wears the same day though. Yeah,
it's not the same day. He wears the same thing though all the time. That's the problem.
I'm like, you ain't gonna clothes.
He had that same outfit on in Home Alone. Does he ever change his outfit?
He definitely had the same outfit on in Home Alone.
He probably got 50 of the same suit and the same
like the cartoon characters. They have the same outfit on every day.
So you can't tell.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it is. So you can't tell. All right, moving on.